What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I would like to thank you for stopping by. First of all, it has been a great day for me, so I had a little time to sit down and record a new video because I told you I wanted to do a Meet My Plant series, and I've just been so busy getting my son back in school and everything. I haven't really had time to do another video, so I had time today, and I'm going to introduce you to a new plant this week. And I'm sorry, my name is Precious. I don't know why I forget to tell you my name, but that's not even really important right now. I'm just blabbering on. Anyways, so the plant that I want to introduce you to today is called my Swiss cheese plant. And I want you to get into this plant because it's huge. It's big, pretty big. It's about 5 feet tall from base to the top. And it is so beautiful. It's pretty huge. So I can't really get it all on camera unless I do a faraway video. And I don't want to do a faraway video because I really want you to get into the detail of the plants that I'm introducing. So just a few quick little things about my Swiss cheese plant. The other name that this plant goes by is a monstera adansonii. Now I don't know if I got it right, so if I did not get it right, please don't beat me up. If I did get it right, then that's great, but I'm not sure. I'm not really good with the scientific plant names. I haven't gotten that deep into my gardening skills on that level. So as far as this plant is concerned, I've had this plant literally for about 1.5 years. And no lie, when I got this plant, it started off as like a very, very small rooted plant. It only had about 4 leaves on this plant. And within about 1.5 years time, it has just taken off. Like, it is just, I'm so proud of it, okay? I'm proud of it. And yeah, it's just been taking off, man. As far as the grow level on this plant, I would say it's an easy to grow plant because I don't do nothing to it. I just set it in a place where it's nice and comfortable, and it just has taken off, you know, in no time. So as far as the grow level, I personally do think it is pretty easy to grow. But that's me. I've grown harder plants, so you know. As far as the watering schedule for my Swiss cheese plant, I would say I water this very thoroughly, and I would suggest to be watered thoroughly, of course, with a pot that has drainage holes. But water it thoroughly, and don't let it sit in water. This is not a plant that you would overindulge. This big monstera it just wants some attention so bad. I might have to do another video on it next. But as far as the water schedule, it does not do well sitting in water. As far as my lighting requirements, this plant can do well in bright direct sunlight, only in the morning hours basically. So it would not do well in just straight up all day direct sunlight. It would basically burn the leaves. So I have this in basically a spot on my window where it's kind of like medium light. It gets fairly bright light, but it's not even bright light. So it's just medium. And as far as this plant being rare, this is not a rare plant. Originally, this plant, to my knowledge, comes from Mexico, and it has now become a basically very invasive plant in places like Hawaii and other islands. So if the temperature is right and the soil is right, humidity, you know, I could see this growing somewhere very well, because I'm from Florida, so I could see this growing in Florida like nothing. Like, I take a cutting and I put it in the ground and it could probably take off like nothing. So yeah, it's not very rare in some places. Of course, it's rare to a certain extent as far as being a gardener and getting it on the shelf at the box store, or you know, finding someone to sell you a cutting. It could be rare, but in places where it grows invasively, no, it's not rare. Why do I like this plant? I like this plant because the detail of it is very unique compared to most of my plants who, you know, they may have special colored leaves, or, you know, they may grow extra long, big, huge, they flower, this and this and this and that. The detail on this particular plant is amazing. It looks like a bug is eating it, but it also looks like Swiss cheese. So, the detail, basically, it stands out. It's absolutely beautiful and it stands out. And most people have this grown on a moss pole. I personally do not have this grown on a moss pole because I just haven't gotten to putting it on a moss pole. I know that sounds crazy for some people, but it's growing just fine without the moss pole. If I will put it on a moss pole possibly one day, but it's already 5 foot tall without a moss pole, so I may not put it on the moss pole. It just depends on the type of support that it will need once it gets to trilling to a certain length, basically. And as far as this plant being toxic, now it is mildly toxic to humans and animals only if ingested, and it's not on a severe scale of being toxic. This is more like you know, having an irritated belly or an irritated mouth. I've had plants who they were severely toxic where I wouldn't even touch them without my garden gloves on. So this is on the scale of being toxic. No, it's not good for your plants. I mean, for your animals to eat on. Don't let your children eat on them if you do decide to grow this plant, because it will make you mildly sick, basically. I have heard that the Swiss cheese plant also can live to be about 40 years old. And in the gardening you know, world, plants can be very, very old. You know, people have had plants passed down from them from their great grandparents, you know, type thing. I've seen people who have had jade trees that were at least 100 years old. So, you know, I hear that they can live for 40. We're gonna see how long I keep this one. Because I need a bigger house at this point, because I have no space. I have not even bought plants this year. I have no more space for plants. At this point, I can't even take another plant. So I'm done with plants for right now, until, you know, I have no more space, no more window space. So I'm done, because the plants that I do have right now are growing so lusciously that I'm just gonna have to wait and be patient. I have a couple wish list plants, but outside of that, no more plants for me right now. But yeah, and I don't think I'm missing anything else. I just want y'all to get into one more time. And as I said, it's 5 feet. I got a little terracotta pot in there holding it up for support a little bit, but I kind of like the little sleekness look of it. So I probably will propagate it a little bit. And by propagating this plant the same way I showed you on my watermelon peperomia video, these nodes right here, if I wanted to propagate this plant, I would just cut this node, cut it right about here, and just dunk it in some water, let it root. And, you know, after a few weeks, I wouldn't say a couple weeks, but a few good weeks, you should start to see some plant growth. So yeah, this plant is so big, y'all. I'm sorry. It's really, most of my plants are big. I got this monstera behind me. It's so big, I don't even know what to do with it no more. But yeah, so I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you have questions or anything, I appreciate all comments. I appreciate likes and subscribes, all of that good stuff. Here, hopefully I'll be back even sooner than I was with my latest video. But yes, I will be back. Y'all stay blessed, y'all take care, stay healthy, and y'all stay green. Peace.